Good morning, Mr. Mayor. I want to ask you about your new commission on diversity in the public realm. And I want to ask, because I've obviously looked at your press release. As far as I can see, there are no terms of reference as such formally yet. But I would like to know, where do you derive your authority to stand in judgment on London and British history? So far as I know, it was not in your manifesto. You have never mentioned it before. You mentioned at the very beginning of this that, in fact, we were in the worst crisis since the Second World War, and yet you choose in the middle of that bad crisis to actually introduce something which is divisive and which will, in fact, I believe, encourage people who are already attacking our monuments around the country. What is your authority for setting up this kangaroo court, Mr. Mayor?
Well, I'm sorry it's a little bit filled this way. I'll give one example of one of the ways that I've responded to campaigner and issues. So when I first became mayor, a campaign began from Caroline Credo Perez, who noticed there were 11 statues of great people in Parliament Square, but none of women. And so I responded to the campaign, and in 2018 was really pleased to unveil the first statue of a woman in Parliament Square, Millicent Fawcett, who sits there proudly in Parliament Square. One of the things that I'm cognizant of is that a number of the public realm in our cities is under the direct control of the mayor. Some areas are like Parliament Square. Others are the control of councils or universities or the arts sector. And one of the reasons why we set up a commission is to get partners like council leaders, those in the arts world and others on board to look into whether the public realm in our city fully reflects the diversity of the contribution made towards our city. I'm sorry if he thinks it does. But my view and the views of many Londoners is it doesn't. And that includes issues like street names, public squares, murals, plaques. He'll have heard the announcement from English Heritage this week, who are reviewing their blue plaques to make sure they reflect in the Assembly. Indeed, had a really good campaign. Jeanette Arnold, when she was chair, led a campaign to look at whether the plaques we have properly reflect the contribution of diverse Londoners, and the Assembly did a good job, I think, last year in trying to rectify that, and that was warmly welcomed by Londoners.
No, Mr. Mayor, this is straight out of the Maoist Cultural Revolution playbook, this stuff. You say in your press release that you will stand in, judge, jury and executioner on the various legacies which should or should not be celebrated. I would ask you, not very far from where we are, at the bottom of the Mall, there is a huge statue, iconic one, to Queen Victoria. Now, she was the very symbol of the Victorian London, which you, in your press release...
Can you ask your question, please?
Yes, exactly. Will she be on your list? She was, after all, the very symbol of British imperial power in the 19th century. Will she be on your list? Will you be looking at her too?
Well, firstly, Chair, I don't have a list, but I'd be astonished if anybody was seriously recommending that Queen Victoria's statue be removed.
Why not? Because it's anyone. You are so vague in this. You say anyone connected. We know that this is actually just the beginning of this, Mr. Mayor. We know what this is. This is the beginning of it. Because already we've got people saying we should take down the statue of Arthur Harris. All around the country, we're seeing people saying Francis Drake and this kind of thing. You gave encouragement, official encouragement. It's unbelievably irresponsible at the very height of a very, very tense situation.
Assembly Member Whittle, you made your point very clearly.
British,
can you ask questions if you have any?